Murder-suicide. We have new video just into our newsroom from that scene in Jefferson County.
Plus, breaking developments in a triple shooting in Etowah County. The man now facing charges for the shooting that killed one person and sent two others to the hospital.
Remembering former Birmingham Mayor Larry Langford, a look back on his life and legacy as the city orders flags flown at half-staff.
But first, we are loving all of this sunshine across central Alabama, but get ready. The weather is about to change again. If you thought it was chilly this morning, it's about to get a lot colder. Thanks for joining us this midday. I'm Sarah Snyder.
And I'm Wendell Edwards. We begin with meteorologist Megan Thomas, who is watching that cold weather approaching. Megan.
It is coming in, and it's coming in with a bang, guys. So as you prepare for this evening, temperatures are going to be falling into the 20s. But today we'll be back in the 50s. This afternoon, we've got ample sunshine across the entire southeast. Dry air has filtered in. So what happens is this dry air can cool off pretty efficiently. And so we're not going to be dealing with much moisture today. In fact, temperatures already sitting at 50 degrees in Birmingham, under a cloudless sky in Tuscaloosa at 53, Anniston at 50, Gadsden and Coleman and Haleyville all hanging on to the mid-40s. But look at this temperature change. We are exactly 18 degrees colder in Tuscaloosa at this hour than we were yesterday at this time. Also Birmingham about 13 to 15 degrees colder than we were yesterday. It's going to be even colder tomorrow. We'll talk about that much more in detail coming up next.
And Megan, with that cool weather on the return to central Alabama, the city of Birmingham is opening up a warming station at the Boutwell Auditorium. The auditorium will be open tonight and tomorrow night starting at 5 o'clock and then closing at 7 a.m. You can always be the first to know about our changing weather by downloading our free ABC 3340 News and Weather app. It's available for Apple and Android devices. Breaking right now, Jefferson County deputies are on the scene of a murder-suicide in the Bagley community. Just before 8 o'clock this morning, deputies found a woman shot to death inside of a house on Old Bagley Road. Later, a man called 911 to confess to that shooting. Deputies found him inside of a house on Cindy Lane. Right now, it appears that man shot himself.
We also have breaking news from Attala. A Fort Payne man has been charged in a triple shooting outside a towing business. Brandon Chandler has been charged with 2 counts of attempted murder. He is in jail on a $300,000 bond in Hamilton County, Tennessee. That's in the Chattanooga area. He is awaiting extradition back to Etowah County. 1 person was killed. 2 others were taken to the hospital.
Right now, flags in Birmingham are flying at half-staff after former Mayor Larry Langford died Tuesday.
The Parker High School graduate and UAB alum became the first African-American reporter in Birmingham in the 1970s. He served as the first African-American mayor of Fairfield from 1988 to 2000. He won the Birmingham mayoral election in 2007, but 2 years later, Langford was convicted of engaging in illegal bond swap deals from his days as Jefferson County Commissioner. 2010, he reported to a Kentucky prison for a 15-year sentence. Rumors of an illness were already circulating then. He was transferred to a medical facility in 2012. A judge ordered his compassionate release from prison just last month.
If there's a lesson to be learned from what we are accomplishing here today, we can do anything if we just come together and work together.
Mayor Randall Woodfin issued a statement saying in part, Mayor Larry Langford had an unmatched love for his community. You can find continuing coverage of Langford's death on our website, abc3340.com.
Happening today, another news conference is planned after a Civil Rights Award honor for Dr. Angela Davis was revoked. Dr. Davis is a prominent figure in civil rights history. She was elected to receive the Fred Shuttlesworth Human Rights Award at the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute's annual gala in February. Board members say they discovered statements and public records that show Davis did not meet all of the criteria for that award. Today's news conference is set for 3:30 at Kelly Ingram Park downtown.
Also today, Via Airlines is set to make a major announcement in Birmingham. Via is a low-cost airline that already has a presence in the state of Alabama. It currently has flights out of Montgomery to Orlando. The announcement is set for 2 p.m. at the airport, and we'll have details from that announcement on ABC 3340 Newscast tonight and on our website, abc3340.com.
We are learning new details on how and when crews will tear down the Interstate 2059 bridge in downtown Birmingham. You're taking a live look right now downtown at traffic this midday, moving pretty smoothly there. Demolition work is now scheduled to start by the end of the month. While most of the demolition will be mechanical, explosions have not been ruled out. Now, before all of this can start, AlDOT is waiting for the 31st Street ramps to open. And because of this closure, the city of Birmingham is extending hours for several of the departments in City Hall. Starting Monday, the licensing and permits offices will open at 7 a.m. and will close at 6 p.m. The city says that the hours will allow more opportunities for people who need to pay fees or apply for licenses and permits. All other city departments will operate on a regular business hours. ABC 30 through 40 is working for you to help you get around all the downtown construction. We have a full article on our website with all of the information you need to know. Just look for the 5920 Bridge Replacement Project article on abc3340.com.
Developing now, the government shutdown enters day 19, and the president is now planning to visit the southern border tomorrow. But it's all quiet as you take a live look right now at Washington, D.C. this midday. If that shutdown lasts until Saturday, it will be the longest on record. But both sides are deadlocked over funding for the border wall. A growing number of Republicans are signaling it's time to open the government with or without a wall as hundreds of thousands of Americans struggle in the face of growing hardship. 800,000 workers are not getting paychecks. Casey Cummings is from Mobile. Her husband is an active duty member of the U.S. Coast Guard and has saved dozens of lives over his 15 years.
At this point, I feel like it exactly what the president has said, that it could go on for days, months, even a year. It's heartbreaking.
But in signs of some good news, in D.C., the city council there has voted an emergency measure to issue marriage licenses, even though the federal court is still closed because of that shutdown. And as that government shutdown continues and lingers, Alabama continues to feel the impacts. Even if lawmakers were to reach an agreement, it will be at least 2 weeks before federal prison workers in West Alabama receive a paycheck. The prison is the largest industry in Aliceville and Pickens County. Now local businesses are starting to see a negative ripple effect.
FCI Aliceville has been a tremendous blessing to the city of Aliceville. The gas stations appreciate it. The mom and pop stores appreciate it.
Maybe the Senate and Congress need to have their checks cut and pay and see how it feels for our small town people that trying to work, make a living, see how it feels so they settle on something.
Some organizations are trying to help workers make ends meet, including Alabama Power and the West Alabama Food Bank. Our coverage of the government shutdown continues in our next half hour. See how the shutdown could impact your health and how one town is having to wait to see if their water is safe to drink. Again, that's coming up in our 11:30 half hour. New information on a deadly motorcycle crash in Gardendale. Authorities are now investigating to see if the man who died in that crash was involved in a high-speed chase. The Jefferson County Coroner's Office says 26-year-old William Johnson of Bessemer was killed when his motorcycle crashed into a car at the intersection of Highway 31 and Vulcan Road. Authorities say 3 motorcycles were involved in that chase.
Tomorrow, family will say their final goodbyes to a Blount County woman killed in a hunting accident. Tallapoosa County Sheriff Jimmy Abbott says a person was getting a rifle out of the back of a car when it went off. A bullet struck 48-year-old Donna Doran. Many say she would go out of her way to help whoever she could. Duran's funeral is set for Thursday in Gardendale. A preliminary hearing is set for later this month after a murder in Brighton the day after Christmas. Nathaniel Hamilton is now facing capital murder charges in the death of Sylvester Allen. Authorities say Allen confronted Hamilton when he arrived home and found him inside. He was shot and later died in his front yard. Hamilton is also charged with burglary. That preliminary hearing is set for January 28th. A traffic update for you. A pair of potholes which damaged multiple cars in Adamsville have been filled. Yesterday, Jefferson County workers filled both potholes on Cruce Lane, despite it being part of a state access road. Monday night, Adamsville police posted on social media asking people to avoid that area and to report any more potholes. You can find a link to the reports on potholes in Jefferson County on abc3340.com. There's also information on our website on how to file a claim with the state if your car is damaged due to construction or any other road problems.
A temporary fix is in for a road in one Walker County community. Flooding caused big problems for the Richard Subdivision Road near Parrish, but now one of the roads has some dirt to help cover the holes. The county commission chairman tells us engineers are working on a permanent plan.
The city of Tuscaloosa has unanimously voted to halt large student housing complexes. Our partner, the Tuscaloosa News, reports it is because of public safety and infrastructure concerns. We recently spoke with Mayor Walt Maddox, who said he was worried the high-density complexes won't generate enough tax money to support the city's aging infrastructure. The large-scale buildings would cost an estimated $1.5 million in upgrades to handle the additional water and sewer capacity needed. Saving a part of American retail history.
The last-ditch effort to save Sears before that company goes out of business for good. But first, flights halted all because of drones. The city falling victim again. More drone problems for a major London airport. Departures were temporarily stopped at London's Heathrow Airport following a drone sighting yesterday. Take a look. This is the latest disruption that comes just weeks after drone sightings brought things to a halt at Gatwick Airport for more than 32 hours. In a statement released by Heathrow, a spokesperson apologized for the inconvenience.
Troubled American department store Sears could remain open, at least for now. Yesterday, Sears reached a last-minute deal with a hedge fund controlled by Eddie Lampert, the chairman and the former CEO of Sears. The deal will keep 425 of the stores open if certain conditions are met. Now, under the new terms, Lampert must come up with $120 million in cash by this afternoon as a down payment. The auction period for Sears ends January 14th.
Terrifying moments on the highway.
And it's all caught on camera. Coming up this midday, the huge sign that came crashing down on a car. Hear what happened to the driver. Let's get ready for cooler weather on the way. Meteorologist Megan Thomas has the forecast coming up just ahead. Wow, take a look at this new video of a daring helicopter rescue. The helicopter was dispatched to help an injured skier on the French Alps. The aircraft you saw there digs into the snow, flying within inches of the mountains. The crew successfully landed. They rescued that skier and were able to get him to safety. Fortunately, that skier and everybody else is going to be okay.
This is a different kind of scary. Take a look at this. This dash cam shows a terrifying moment of a Melbourne, freeway sign falling and crashing onto this car. Can you imagine? The driver was or is a 53-year-old woman. She's okay. She suffered from minor neck injuries and was taken to the local hospital where she is stable. But look at the damage to that car. No word as to what made that sign fall.
My goodness, that's like a really bad Monday. This is a really terrible Monday.
This is not okay.
No.
Wow.
So glad she's going to be okay, though. Goodness gracious. Let's get a check on that forecast with meteorologist Megan Thomas. It was a little bit chilly out this morning, but it's going to be real chilly tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow's just going to be downright cold. Winter's coming back, and it's coming back real hard. Overnight lows, temperatures are going to be in the 20s. This morning, we were in the 30s and 40s, but we're gradually climbing, but it's not going to be a warm day by any means. We just missed a plane landing about 30 seconds ago from our Birmingham Coca-Cola Skycam. Temperature sitting at 47 degrees there. Dew points pretty low in the 20s and 30s, which is the reason why we're cloudless. There's absolutely no moisture in the air at this point of the day, and really across the southeast, we are very, very dry. We're going to stay dry today, tomorrow, and Friday night. That begins to change, and Saturday looks like that's our next weather maker. In the meantime, we are sitting in the 40s from Haleyville to Coleman into Gadsden. Birmingham sitting at 50 degrees right now. Tuscaloosa at 53, Anniston at 50, Alabaster at 51. In fact, we're pretty cool compared to where we were yesterday. We were about 15 degrees on average, a bit cooler than where we were at 11:20 yesterday morning, which is pretty interesting. But like we've been talking about, that cold air is coming in, and it's coming in quickly. Again, highs today will be in the low to mid 50s. Tomorrow's highs are going to look something more like that. What we see in Oklahoma City, 45 degrees. I think we'll be in the upper 40s across much of the state, but tomorrow morning definitely going to be cold and still breezy. Today, a very windy day out there. Winds coming out of the northwest at about 10 to 15 miles an hour, averaging around 15 across much of central Alabama. Some wind gusts could get up to 20 in some places. Now, throughout the day today, expect nothing but sunshine. Going to be a great day, a bit windy and yes, cool. Overnight, we're going to fall back down into the 20s. Tomorrow afternoon, a cool day, but ample sunshine once again. And then here come those changes. Notice the timing on this. Friday, 10:15 at night. It's a late part of Friday, but just know those clouds are going to build in. We're going to see some showers back up along the Tennessee Valley. And then here comes the rain. Periods of showers expected on Saturday afternoon and evening. The good news is we're not expecting any severe weather with this system, just a good old soaking rain. By Sunday morning, mid-morning, if you're headed to church or going for a walk, whatever you may be doing, the clouds will linger. Could see a few scattered showers early, but I do believe those begin to clear out by the time Sunday night rolls around. Also Monday and into Tuesday look relatively dry. Again, we're going to be dry all the way through Friday. There's that timestamp. You'll notice we've got 0, no rain in sight, but then here comes the showers. Rain amounts generally around 1 inch or less across much of the state over the course of the next 5 days. High city right around 53 degrees, will be sunny and windy. Forecast for tonight, 27, clear and cold. Up on the 7-day, going to be in the 40s tomorrow, 50s by Friday. Showers expected throughout the day on Saturday.
All right, Megan, thank you. Ahead at midday, flags flying at half staff.
A city in mourning. A look back on former Birmingham Mayor Larry Langford's major accomplishments and the legacy he leaves behind. Plus, real-life consequences of the government shutdown, how drama in Washington could affect your health.
We have some breaking news to tell you about that revoked award that was going to be given to Angela Davis. We have just learned that 3 members of the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute's board of directors are now resigning. Those board members are Mike Oatridge, that is the chair of the board, Walter Body, who is the first vice chair, and Janice Kelsey, who is the secretary. As we've been reporting, the Institute decided to revoke a civil rights award that it was planning to honor Dr. Davis with. She was elected to receive the Fred Shuttlesworth Human Rights Award in February, but then the board says they discovered statements and public records that showed that Davis did not meet all of the criteria. And in the statement that they released, that's just into our newsroom, it says, "It has been our privilege to serve as volunteer board members. As members of this board, we regret the circumstances surrounding the selection process regarding this award and the dissension that this has caused." But again, 3 members of the Civil Rights Board of Directors, the Civil Rights Institute's Board of Directors, are now resigning, stepping down, saying they hope that this resignation will allow that board to restructure, and they say that they will lend their support moving forward. At the live desk, I'm Ariel Clay, ABC 3340 News.
All right, Ariel, thank you. We'll keep watching that with you. Headed up to Washington, D.C. now for President Trump. One of the most significant consequences of his party's losses in the midterm elections is that he will now face a relentless wave of investigations into him, his administration, and his family business, led by Democrats taking control of key House committees.
National investigative reporter James Rosen tells us what the true impact of this might be.
I extend to you this gavel. Thank you.
In the days leading up to the Democrats' recapture of control over the House of Representatives, party leaders signaled their intention to probe virtually every facet of President Trump's administration and business career.
The president has had no oversight and no accountability from Congress. We are going to provide that oversight. We're going to use the subpoena power if we have to.
Under House Democrats' microscope will be Mr. Trump's tax returns, the operations of the hotel in Washington that bears his name, and his dealings with Russia. The Democrats portray their investigative juggernaut as a legitimate function of the legislative branch.
Well, this isn't about payback. We have all come here to not only serve our constituents, but the American people.
At least one Democratic lawmaker seemed to belie such professions of impartiality, however.
Because we're going to go in there, we're going to impeach them all.
Former Congressman Tom Davis, a Virginia Republican who now practices law at Holland and Knight in Washington, served 4 years as chair of the Oversight and Government Reform Committee, one of the key panels that uses subpoena power to investigate government operations.
You're going to have secretaries and undersecretaries and White House staff scurrying around to produce documents. It's difficult to govern when you're being investigated or impeached or whatever, but it's been done. And that's going to really decide on how earnest people are about getting things done for the public versus just investigating and putting points on the board.
The wild card in all of this is the sprawling investigation into Russia and other matters being conducted by the Office of the Special Counsel. The uncertainty over whether Robert Mueller's team of prosecutors intends to pursue the president himself and over Mueller's timetable complicates the Democrats' considerations as to which investigations to launch and when. On Capitol Hill, James Rosen.
Taking a live look outside over the Magic City. It is a little chilly today, but it'll be a lot chillier tomorrow. Meteorologist Megan Thomas has the forecast for the rest of the week ahead as ABC 3340 News Midday continues.
Now, ABC 3340 News Midday.
We begin this half hour taking a live look right now outside. Sunshine in many areas, but not quite as warm as that spring-like weather we enjoyed earlier this week. Meteorologist Megan Thomas is keeping tabs on these changing temperatures. And Megan, how cold are we talking this week?
We're talking 20s early tomorrow morning. I know we've been so spoiled over the
really
past couple
It was
of days,
beautiful,
right?
great weather.
Yes, it's been wonderful weather to spend outside. I know you're a big runner. Maybe people at home are as well.
Perfect running weather, yeah.
Perfect running weather. It's wonderful outside. Definitely a cool day. In fact, yesterday we were in the 60s and low 70s. Today we're headed for only the upper mid 50s, really. Low to mid 50s. It's going to be a cool day. Yes, we're going to see plenty of sunshine. We're very dry across the area at this point. Sitting in the 40s from them, Haleyville to Coleman and to Gadsden at this hour. Downtown Birmingham sitting at 50, Tuscaloosa at 53. The other thing you're going to have to watch out for today is the wind. We are going to be very breezy throughout the afternoon and early evening as wind speeds could get up to 20 miles an hour in some places. It's definitely a lot cooler today and it's going to be very cold tonight. We'll talk about if there's a warm up on the way and when our next chance for rain will be arriving coming up in about 10 minutes, guys.
Always be the first to know about our changing weather by downloading our free ABC 3340 News and Weather app. It's available for Apple and Android devices.
If there's a lesson to be learned from what we're accomplishing here today, we can do anything if we just come together and work together.
Right now, flags are being ordered to fly at half-staff today as the city of Birmingham remembers former Mayor Larry Langford. Langford died yesterday evening at the age of 72. Langford is also being remembered for the many firsts he achieved. He was Birmingham's first African-American reporter in the 1970s, the first African-American mayor of Fairfield in the 80s, and the first African-American president of the Jefferson County Commission. That was in the early 2000s. Langford helped pass the penny tax, which helped pay for more than 10 new schools. And he first proposed replacing the aging Legion Field with a dome stadium. Langford's biggest title was when he became mayor of Birmingham in 2007. Langford, though, was sentenced to a 15-year prison sentence in 2009 for illegal bond swap deals from his days as a commissioner. He was transferred to a medical facility in 2012. A judge ordered his compassionate release from prison last month. You can find continuing coverage on ABC3340.com.
We are now in day 19 of the partial government shutdown as that situation becomes increasingly dire. Right now, we're looking live at President Trump in the Oval Office having a conversation. There are a growing number of congressional Republicans who are saying that the government should be reopened right away. The president is heading to the Capitol today to meet with Republican lawmakers, but he may find support there waning for border wall funding. The president is also planning to visit the southern border tomorrow.
Employees at the U.S. Food and Drug Administration are expressing concern that that partial government shutdown could threaten the health and the safety of the American people. Furloughed FDA staffers say they believe the agency is doing the best it can during the shutdown, but there are fears the longer it goes, the more likely Americans could be at risk. The FDA commissioner says a good deal of routine agency and review work has slowed down. About 41% of the FDA workforce is off the job due to that shutdown.
Some people in Wisconsin have to wait for the government shutdown to end just to find out if their water is safe. Experts have been conducting a project on the quality of well water in Kewaunee County in Wisconsin. Some previous studies found more than 1 out of every 4 wells there was unsafe to drink or use. The county has been waiting for more than a year to hear the results of that latest study, but now a government expert cannot present the conclusions because the Department of Agriculture is affected by the shutdown.
No matter the method to securing our country's border, it can cost a lot of money. The U.S. defense officials say that it could cost $132 million by the end of the month. Now, that's $10 million more than the estimate given by the Defense Department. Officials also say the deployment of the National Guard in Operation Guardian Support is expected to cost $308 million by the end of the fiscal year. New information in the string of suspicious packages sent to consulates in Australia.
We now know the United States consulate in Melbourne was one of the 18 targeted.
A major operation is underway to figure out who is behind this.
Breaking news anchor Ariel Clay is at the live desk. And Ariel, what details do we know about the packages that were mailed?
So far, Wendell and Sarah, the packages were white envelopes with plastic sandwich bags inside of them that contained powder or some kind of fibrous material. And it's being reported that the envelopes had the words asbestos and wear a mask written right on them. While forensic teams were seen carrying out plastic evidence bags with the word asbestos written on them as well. And other embassies targeted in all of this include Britain, Japan, Russia, Thailand, Greece, and India, several others. Buildings were evacuated and locked down, and federal police are investigating along with agents who specialize in hazardous material. So far, there is no indication who could be behind this or why they would be doing this. We also know just a few days ago, suspicious white powder was sent to the Argentine consulate in Sydney. So far, no word if the incidents are linked. At the live desk, I'm Ariel Clay, ABC 3340 News.
Right now, every police officer in Adamsville is now wearing a body camera. Mayor Pam Palmer said the new cameras were purchased through a federal grant. Now, Adamsville police had to share body cameras before, but Palmer says the cameras have also been installed in police vehicles. Hotels in Oxford will now see a 2% rise in lodging tax starting in June. That tax will now be raised to 8%. The City Council approved the increase at last night's meeting. Some of the revenue generated by the tax increase will go to public safety and other events. The rest will be marked as general purpose funding.
A heads up for drivers in Vestavia Hills. Today, construction crews will be installing new sidewalks along a section of Green Valley Road and Asbury Road in Cahaba Heights. Crews will be working on the project for the next 3 months. New at midday, Los Angeles school district officials are planning to meet with the teachers union as a possible strike looms. Teachers in the district have been in contract negotiations for almost 2 years, and so far there is no resolution. A strike is planned to begin Thursday if a deal is not reached. The school district offered to hire nearly 1,000 new teachers, counselors, nurses, and librarians Monday. The union rejected that deal. Parents say teachers are already responsible for too many students.
The district has failed. They have a specific obligation to the children, and they failed it. They've had, 2 years now? They've been in contract negotiations, and they don't want to settle.
The school district is asking a court to force teachers to continue working. It says the union did not give them adequate notice of its intent to strike.
On his way out the door.
The exit plan for the Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein to leave the Trump administration. Plus, do you think health care is too expensive? A new report agrees with you. See why the United States is paying so much more than other countries.
And get ready for some much colder air. Meteorologist Megan Thomas has your forecast when ABC 3340 News Midday continues.
And we are back with breaking news this midday. A teen is under arrest after investigators say he was found with drugs and guns on the campus of Thompson High School. Right now, you're taking a look at that teen. The Shelby County Drug Enforcement Task Force posted onto their Facebook page that 18-year-old Kama Green had ecstasy, Xanax, and a quarter pound of marijuana along with some drug paraphernalia. This is another one of the pictures that was posted. He also had 3 firearms on the school's campus. One was stolen, police say. Green now faces several charges. That includes carrying a pistol without a license. He is being held on a $13,000 bond. We have a crew working the story right now. We'll have the very latest tonight on ABC 3340 News at 5. At the live desk, I'm Ariel Clay, ABC 3340 News.
In Washington, D.C., Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, who launched the special counsel Russell investigation into possible collusion between Russians and the presidential Trump campaign, is expected to leave his post in the coming weeks. This as we learn more about that new bombshell in the Mueller investigation, accidentally revealed by Paul Manafort's attorneys. ABC's Elizabeth Herr is in New York with the latest.
A new revelation in the Russia investigation. Prosecutors accusing former Trump campaign chair Paul Manafort of sharing polling data with a man linked to Russian intelligence. That accusation revealed by Manafort's own attorneys, apparently by accident. According to court documents, Manafort's legal team, countering allegations he repeatedly lied to the special counsel's office, unsuccessfully redacted certain sections of their filing that were meant to remain a secret, including a passage stating Robert Mueller's team is claiming Manafort lied about sharing polling data from the 2016 campaign with Russian national Konstantin Kilimnik, a man who, according to one of the special counsel's witnesses, is suspected of being a member of the Russian intelligence agency, accused of hacking the DNC. If true, critics suggesting this could be the first evidence of collusion, a charge the president has consistently denied.
Certainly raises a lot more questions about yet additional discussions and meetings and exchange of information in which Trump campaign people are lying.
Meanwhile, ABC News also learning the man who had been overseeing the Russia investigation, Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, is leaving his post soon. Sources say Rosenstein told the president he plans to leave the administration when Trump's Attorney General nominee William Barr is confirmed. Right now, there's no indication that Rosenstein is being forced out. Sources say he had always planned to serve around 2 years. Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, New York.
Also new this midday, the British lawmakers right now are preparing to debate Prime Minister Theresa May's withdrawal agreement with the European Union in the hours ahead. The Brexit deal is unlikely to pass the House when voted on next week. Yesterday, MPS further tied the government's hands if Britain leaves without that agreement. Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn called that an important step, saying it proved there is no parliamentary support for a no-deal Brexit. Take a look at this. Winter has hit Hungary in a really big way. This is not the first time snow has fallen this season, but this storm brought icy cold temperatures, leaving a mountain of snow across the country. The lowest temperature so far has been 5 degrees. Can you even imagine?
No.
This is definitely not Alabama.
No.
Another major snowfall is expected over the next few days.
I have felt 5 degrees. It is not warm.
Not pleasant, no.
The Joy in Childhood Foundation is about to make some parents at Children's of Alabama look extra special. Today, Children's of Alabama will receive a donation of Starlight gowns for patients to wear. The organization will also be giving a $5,000 check to support hospital needs.
Fantastic. Let's get a check on the forecast right now with meteorologist Megan Thomas. Megan, thankfully no 5 degrees around here, but it is a little chilly.
Ooh, yeah, no thank you guys. We have plenty of sunshine, but sometimes the sun is a bit deceiving if you're working indoors. If you step outside, you're going to feel it. We're in the 40s this midday. Temperature sitting at 49 degrees at our gallery at Tower Cam. Dew point sitting in the low 30s, and that number indicates how much moisture is in the air. Typically, when it's a bit higher, we'll see clouds develop, but as you saw on our SkyCam network, not a single cloud, and that translates onto the satellite as well. No clouds at this hour. All things looking good as we head into the rest of this afternoon. Temperatures hanging on into the 40s at this midday, so really pretty chilly if you ask me. And if you head through this afternoon, you're going to notice we're only going to be in the 50s. So again, at this time, we're sitting at 50 degrees in Birmingham. Anniston sitting at 50 degrees. Tuscaloosa at 53. Alabaster at 51. The temperature change from the last 24 hours looks something like this. We've got anywhere between, I'd say, 10 to 20 degrees temperature difference, meaning we are about 20 degrees cooler in Tuscaloosa than we were at this time yesterday at midday. This cool air continues to funnel on in. St. Louis sitting at 34. Highs tomorrow not going to be in the 30s, but we're going to be headed for the 40s. And I'm telling you, it's going to be like a blast of cold air coming in from Canada. That's where this cold air is actually originating from. Wind speeds today going to be a bit breezy, anywhere between 10 to 15 miles an hour. A steady wind, and then gusts could get up to 20 in some locations. As we go through time, you'll notice plenty of sunshine today and tomorrow. Friday, that's when the changes begin to happen. That's our next weather maker. This is Friday night. About 10:15, you'll notice clouds begin to build in. We'll see a few showers across the Tennessee Valley. More rain builds in as we go through the afternoon on Saturday and Saturday evening. Going to see periods of rain through the day Saturday, so if you have plans to get out and about, you may want to go ahead and make that plan B for Saturday afternoon. By Sunday morning, I do think the majority of the rain has pushed off into Georgia. And we're going to be left with just a few clouds around. And I do think that we begin to see those clouds break up by Sunday evening. And Monday and Tuesday both look dry. We're dry all the way through Friday. And again, here comes that rain into Saturday and Sunday. But notice rain amounts generally less than 1 inch. And ultimately, I think we're going to be less than a half an inch in most spots. 47 degrees tomorrow, 51 on Friday. Scattered showers expected on Saturday. No severe weather expected through the weekend.
A new analysis by Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health confirms just what many of us have already been paying for. Health care in the U.S. is expensive. That analysis says people in the U.S. spend twice as much on health care as any other developed nations. The study found it's not because we use more medical services than other countries, but in America, a combination of drug prices, doctor and nurses' salaries, and higher medical services all contribute.
Some good news on cancer cases in the United States. The American Cancer Society says the number of cancer deaths in the U.S. has actually fallen over the past 25 years. Experts credit lower smoking rates and advances in early detection and treatment. However, obesity-related cancer deaths are on the rise, and we no longer see a drop in the number of prostate cancer deaths. Cancer does remain the nation's #2 killer, right behind heart disease. Here's a reason if you don't like breakfast, maybe you want to consider eating breakfast every morning. Missing the first meal of the day could actually put you at risk for diabetes. New research suggests that skipping breakfast just once a week increases your risk for type 2 diabetes. Now, this risk increases up to 55% if you skip breakfast 4 to 5 times a week. The authors of the study point out that breakfast skippers may have other unhealthy habits as well. They're more likely to smoke, less likely to exercise, and may drink more alcohol. You know, with the new year, a lot of us are looking for a new, leaner look. But before you dig into a new diet and an exercise routine, we have a Sinclair Cares report that you want to hear. Maxine Bensel uncovers how many popular diets are made up of foods that can essentially eliminate exercise effectiveness.
Good. Some more?
When Paolo Marin decided she was going to start exercising, she had one thing in mind.
To lose some weight, yeah, for sure.
And she's not alone.
Push through it.
Personal trainer Wade Waddick works with people every day with the same goal.
I would say like 85 to 90% of the people that walk through the door are, yes, looking to lose weight.
But it takes a lot more than just exercise.
We know that eating right and exercising is the key to longevity.
And eating right is Right Up nutrition consultant Lily Mall's alley. She works with clients to teach them exactly what kind of foods they should be eating.
I think it's really important to fuel your body properly for the activity that you're going to do ahead.
Lily says fad diets are popular because they promise and often produce fast weight loss.
Everyone is talking about keto, and everybody is talking about intermittent fasting.
But she and others we spoke with have concerns about both. The keto diet is high fat and low carb, which means it gives you energy to work out.
Healthy fats give you a lot of energy. I mean, you should have enough energy to be able to work out.
Just go.
But she and others warn keto doesn't offer enough protein to build muscle effectively, eliminating a lot of exercise's effectiveness. And she says intermittent fasting, while good for giving your digestive system a break every once in a while, doesn't always properly fuel your body for a workout.
As long as the quality of your food that you're eating during the times that you are eating is high quality food, good quality food, and it's giving you energy.
And no food equals no energy for a fully functioning workout. Instead, experts suggest sticking to a diet that is high protein and low carb. It's easy to follow and provides what you need for peak performance.
If you're talking about longevity and you're talking about health and you're talking about aesthetics, I think you have to have the diet right before you can expect exercise to really give you the results or for you to see the results from exercise.
So far it's worked for Paolo, who's lost 15 pounds.
It really makes me feel a lot more energized in general.
And speaking of being energized, remember that water is a workout and diet's best friend. You want to stay hydrated at all times and always avoid eating heavy foods right before working out. Wishing you a happy and healthy 2019. I'm Maxine Bensel for Sinclair Cares.
Our chief political analyst, Boris Epstein, a former Trump campaign senior advisor and White House official, joins us now to talk about some opposition to efforts in Congress aimed at combating anti-Semitism in our country.
The first legislative package that the Senate has been slated to take up in the 116th Congress contains pieces of a bill authored by Senator Marco Rubio called the Combating BDS Act of 2019. The act targets the boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement that is widely regarded as anti-Semitic. However, a combination of senators, led by Bernie Sanders of Vermont, are attempting to use the government shutdown to derail this legislation. Sanders asked in a tweet for Democrats to, quote, get our priorities right. As a frame of reference, over half of the country's state governments have passed legislation targeted at condemning the BDS movement in some way, shape, or form. The Rubio bill would support those efforts across the country, further reaffirming our country's commitment to combating anti-Semitism and supporting Israel. Bernie Sanders thinks that this view does not align with Democrat priorities. Sadly, he's not the only one. Newly elected Democrat Representative Rashida Tlaib of Michigan said that supporters of anti-BDS legislation, quote, forgot what country they represent. This dual loyalty smear is one of the oldest, nastiest anti-Semitic attacks in the book. Here's the bottom line. I do wonder, for example, how the Jewish constituents of Chuck Schumer in New York or of Nancy Pelosi in California feel about the direction that the Democratic Party is taking. Honestly, it is disgusting to me that this is not the first time I've had to say this on air. Anti-Semitism has no place in our country, period. Share with me your bottom line. Please email me at bottomline@sbgtv.com and let me know your thoughts on today's segment.
What a beautiful day outside as you're taking a live look over the city of Hoover. It's going to get a lot colder tonight. Megan's got the final forecast coming up.
Some sports news just into our newsroom. The Cleveland Browns are set to hire Freddie Kitchens to be the team's 18th coach. This is according to our news partner, the Tuscaloosa News and ESPN. Kitchens serves as the Browns' interim offensive coordinator for the final 8 games of this 2018 season. Kitchens, you may know, used to play football at the University of Alabama.
All right, let's get a last check on the forecast. Had to break out the coat this morning, and I think that's going to be the case for a few days.
I know, it's going to be cold, or was cold this morning. We were in the 30s and 40s.
Right.
Tomorrow going to be even colder. We're talking mid to upper 20s, but we are dry. We're going to stay dry all the way through Friday, so that sunshine going to be around for the next several days. The winds were just blowing out of the north about 12 miles an hour at that Galleria Tower Cam. You saw plenty of sunshine there. Highs again today, back around 53 degrees. Tomorrow, again, upper 40s. Going to be chilly, low 50s for Friday. Rain moves in throughout the day on Saturday. So we're going to have a plan B if you do have plans outside. It's not going to be a washout, but you're definitely going to see some rain around here on Saturday.
What happened to those 60s? Those were so nice. I enjoyed those for a few days.
We got to wait a little while.
Yeah.
Okay. That is our time for now. We thank you for sharing your time with us. GMA Day is next.
We'll see you back here on the News at 4. Have a great Wednesday, everybody.